My name is Nathan Sin, and today I want to talk to you a little about GPU mining. I'm getting a lot of requests about altcoin mining and cryptocurrency mining. So today I'm going to talk about assembling a GPU miner. This is becoming an extremely popular type of mining over ASIC mining. And here we have a 13 GPU mining machine, and anybody can assemble one of these machines. It does take a little bit of technical know-how, and today what I want to do is go over the different parts and a little bit about the assembly and give you a little bit of instructions on how to get started with GPU mining. So first, I have a GPU card here. This is a NVIDIA 1060, and it's actually a mining spec card from NVIDIA. It doesn't have any display ports, so this card was designed especially just to mine cryptocurrency. And here we have the motherboard, which is the main board for your mining machine. And the way this works is you have all these GPU mining cards, which are actually the cards that solve the mathematical equations for cryptocurrency mining. And what you actually do is use what's called a riser, and this here I have here is a GPU riser. And the way this works is that you would fasten your card onto your case or onto your mining rack, and then once you have the card securely attached to your rig, you would then attach the mining riser like this. You would just clip it in. Let's see. So you clip it in, and it has a little lock at the bottom, and you would push that up, and then it's on there secure. And then you have here, this is the other cord. This actually plugs directly into your motherboard. So you can see down here, there's slots available. These are called Pci Slots, and you want to make sure on all the slots that you plug them in exactly the same. There's one slot that's a lot larger, and on some boards there's up to 3 different slots that are larger. You want to make sure that you plug the actual riser, the PCI riser, into the correct position on that. And once you do that, you would then connect this part to your power supply. And here we have our power supply. This actually takes the electricity from your socket and distributes it to your machine correctly. Okay, so here you have cords that come out and connect directly to your motherboard, and then you also have another cord on here that you would attach here. Okay, and this is what you would call a SATA plug. Okay, and once you have that hooked up, you would then make sure you have all your other parts connected. So basically, for a mining rig, your main parts are going to be your motherboard, which is your central board where everything connects and it distributes everything. Okay, so you have power connections that go in here, and then you have all your cards, all your GPU mining cards are plugged in here, and then you have various other plugs depending on which motherboard you get. This one actually has the power button built into the board. Some of them you actually have to connect your button, your power button, and it's on the bottom section of the board. They come with manuals, so you can look through the manual and see exactly where to plug it in. You also have a hard drive, and your hard drive will be attached to your power supply and also into your motherboard. And once you have this set up, you can turn it on, and all your cards, you should see fans spinning. Once you see your machines on and all your cards are powered on, you can go into what's called Device Manager on your computer and check to make sure that all of your cards are being detected. You also need to go on the website for the GPU cards you're using. This machine actually uses both AMD and NVIDIA cards, so you would have to go on both of those websites and download the correct drivers for your card and install. Once you have your drivers for your GPUs installed, you then can download mining software. It depends on what you're wanting to mine. There are various websites that allow you to mine assortment of cryptocurrency or rent your machines out. I won't go into that very much, but basically once you start up your mining, you would connect it to a pool, and I'll do a video later on about pool mining and how to do it and give you some instructions on pool mining and how that works. Another feature that you want to take into account is once you have your machine running, a lot of people get their machines running and they're mining, but they don't really know that they need to regulate their fan speeds. So this machine gets very hot. It's very, very hot. So each of these cards usually have 2 fans on them. Okay, and these fans are actually controllable, and you need to regulate these fans. So there's various different ways to regulate your fans depending on your climate and the temperature of where you have your machine. It would depend on how you run your fans. Right now on this setup, I just have my fans running at 70% speed all the time, and that keeps my machine at a acceptable temperature. There's other settings on here where you can actually do custom fan speed, and I'm using a software called Sapphire Tricks. It's good for AMD cards. There's also various different software for NVIDIA cards to control your fan speed. So it's very important to make sure and monitor the temperature of your machine to make sure that your cards aren't overheating if you want to get the full lifespan of your machine. And so as far as the rest of the setup goes, I would recommend watching multiple different YouTube videos on how to assemble machines. This is just a brief overview of a GPU mining rig, and do a lot of research and find out what works best for you and your setup. There's lots of different types of boards and different parts, so your setup could be very, very different than this one. The most important thing is to do lots of research as you do your setup, and reach out to the community. There's lots of forums and information out there to help you get set up.